Hey guys, Hellraiser here. Welcome to another episode of First World Problems, Third World Repairs, where I try to fix items that I have bought in Panama. Today, I have something a little different for you. A lot of people have PlayStation 3s and they're starting to get this error that they see. And what this error is that you need to update it or something's wrong with your hard drive. So what happens is you go ahead and decide to put OSU1 update on your USB thumb drive. You get your new hard drive, you pop it in, and you start trying to update. And what will happen is you keep getting this error code 8002F1F9. And it just keeps looping. It says it can't finish. It'll get to about between 30% and 50%, and then it'll stop. If you watch your hard drive, at one point the hard drive is flashing, flashing, flashing. It stops flashing. 5 or 6 seconds later, the update, you get the error code and the update stops. And then after a couple of 53 seconds or so, it restarts. So what's the problem? Well, I tried everything on a couple of mine. I used different USB thumb drives. I used 4 different thumb drives. I used 9 different hard drives, including SSD hard drives. Nothing worked. Finally, I decided to start checking around. I found that the Wi-Fi chip is shorted. Now, what does that mean? Well, when it's doing your update, it's going to get to a point where it looks for that Wi-Fi card because your update is going to need your PlayStation 3 is going to need to connect to finish the update. It checks once it's done putting the update that's on your memory stick, it checks online later to try to update. If it does not see your Wi-Fi card, then it stops the update. Guys, here we have the dreaded 802F1F9 error. What that usually means is a couple things. It could be a bad CMOS battery. It could be a bad USB drive that you're using to do the update, bad hard drive. It could also be a bad Wi-Fi card. So what have we tried? Well, I've tried everything. I've spent hours on this. You can see 3 different USB thumb drives I've tried, but it's recognizing that there's an update on all of them. I have tried not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but 7 hard drives. Now, some of them go farther than others, but none of them go past 49 to 52%. I have checked. The Blu-ray drive is the one for this. All the connections are good, even the connector underneath. It's connected properly. They're all getting good connection, no broken wires. I've traded power supplies. As you can see, I have no lack of things to use here. So what are we going to do next? Well, we're going to do the last thing we can do. We're going to reflow the Wi-Fi chip and see what happens. Let's do it. So what are we looking at here? Here's how you check to see. Now you have your board out. This is the back side of the board. So you have to disassemble everything. Put your meter in continuity mode where it beeps. Okay. Now what you'll do is you'll go over to these 2 SMD chips here. So you'll put your meter on the ground here, and then you'll touch both sides of these 2 chips. Now, these are not soldered on because I'm going to be using them for another board repairs. But what you'll hear that on both sides of the capacitor and both sides of I think this is a resistor. If you hear 4 of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, then what's wrong is your Wi-Fi chip is shorted. Now, to replace that Wi-Fi chip is a nightmare. I'll show you why. But before I turn the board over, I want you to look at this part. Some other technicians have said this is the part that goes bad that causes your Wi-Fi chip to short out. So when you're going to attempt this repair that I'm going to show you, you're going to need this part here from a donor board. So go ahead and remove one from the donor board. That's why this one is removed, so I can use it later, as you see. So I can use this one later. Okay, let's turn the board over. I want to show you the Wi-Fi chip. Okay, here's our Wi-Fi module. Now what it normally will look like, it'll look like this. Okay, it'll be sitting down here, look just like this. Now what you have to do is you have to delit it. It's really not that hard, but you'll need a hot air solder gun. You'll want to set it at 500 degrees Celsius, full air pressure. but be careful. Keep it up in the air. Don't get it close to these parts around here. You do not want to blow these off the board. And what you'll do is you'll apply flux all around the edge, and then just keep moving the heat while putting a little pressure on this corner up. And then eventually what'll happen is this lid will pop off. It'll just pop right off, okay? Now you're ready to get to work. What you're going to be looking for is this chip. Now, why? If you try to take this entire Wi-Fi module off, it is a nightmare. I don't know what it is, but it takes so much heat to get it off. Then when you have it off and you have a new chip, look at this, you have to reball it. Now, who in the world wants to do that? Now, if you can do SMD soldering with a hot air gun, it's much easier just to take this chip off. So that's what I did. I put flux all around it. I set my iron at 500 degrees Fahrenheit, lower air pressure, and just kept going around and around and around while holding it with a pair of tweezers, and then popped it straight up. Did the same thing on my other PlayStation 3 and put this chip in, which I can't seem to grab. That's why we use tweezers. So I put this chip in my new one, and I also changed out the chip on the back. I don't know for sure if that chip on the back, it's necessary to change out, but I wasn't about to have it short out this new chip that I just spent all that time putting in. So there you go, guys. If you are getting the 800 2F 1F9 error, check the back of your board, see if those two, the capacitor and the resistor, are shorted. If they are, it is this chip right here. And all you have to do is replace it. Do not replace your entire board. So a lot of us have donor boards. You can buy PS3s on Facebook Marketplace and eBay. You can buy a lot of times you can buy them for $10 if they're broken. A lot of times it's the hard drive or it's the Blu-ray. Try to find one that's got the hard drive, Blu-ray, even the power supply messed up. And then this chip will be good. So for $10, you can have it repaired like I did. Okay, I got my two boards here. This one is good. This one is bad. I'm gonna try changing out these chips because this chip is shorted all on the top legs there. Every single thing on that top leg is shorted. So we're gonna swap out chips and see what happens. So look at that, guys. It worked. We finally got past the dreaded update error. How in the world do we do it? Okay, so look here. I've got Wi-Fi chips. These are broken. I bought a new one, okay? Look it, broken Wi-Fi chip. This one is brand new, but look what you have to do. You have to re-ball that thing. I'm not about to do that. That's just too much. So what did I do? I went onto this one, okay? We de-lidded it, which takes some work, and then we desoldered that chip there. I don't know why it's not focusing. Right there. We desoldered the chip in the middle. And then we did the same thing on this one. We de-lidded it. That's why I have lids all over the ground here. But we de-lidded it. And then just like we did here, you see, we took the chip off. That chip is what shorts out. So I don't know why people are trying to put new Wi-Fi chips in. Just de-lid the Wi-Fi module and take that chip and resolder it. You have to be very careful because there's little parts all around it, but it can be done. Let's see if so there's little capacitors, see if I can point, that are missing here and here. So you gotta be careful, you can't knock those off. So you have to pick the chip straight up when you desolder it. And you gotta use a hot air gun, probably at about 500 degrees Celsius. But as you can see, that gets past that problem. So another one saved. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to see more, please subscribe. If you liked it, hit the like button, and we'll see you next time. Hellraiser out.